I mean, I couldn't believe it when I was told we've got the Wales Millennium Centre. You
Yeah.
know, Andy, I was already excited about, I mean, very, very excited about doing St. David's Hall. I'd like, if you don't mind, I want to talk a bit about St. David's
Yeah,
Hall.
please do. Please do. Yeah.
Two theatres in my life that I have dreamed about playing at in my own right. The first one is the Mayflower in Southampton, because I was brought up in Eastleigh near Southampton. And it was the Mayflower, even when it was before called the Gaumont, that I saw all my early gigs as an early teenager. You know, when I was 12, 13, 14, I saw Shakin' Stevens there. We used to go to pantomimes. You know, the Mayflower was... The other place was St. David's Hall. Those are the two theatres in this country that meant a lot to me. And I'll tell you why, St. David's Hall. Back in 1988, I did Opportunity Knocks with Bob Monkhouse. It was May 1988. It aired on Saturday, the 14th of May. I'll never forget it. It was my television debut. It's basically, and it's where I mark the beginning of my professional career, right?
Yeah.
The 14th of May, 1988. I'd done lots of stuff, but to be on national television, it's the beginning of a whole new world. On the Monday morning, the phone rang at my mum's house in Eastleigh in Hampshire. And to cut a very long story short, it was Ronnie Corbett on the phone, right?
Oh, wonderful.
This wouldn't happen anymore. He rang the BBC. He saw the programme on Saturday night. Monday morning, he calls the BBC. I was just about to do my Ronnie Corbett impression, but I won't do it. I saw this kid on BBC. I need to get hold of him. I want him to anyway. He calls my house. The BBC gave him my number, right? That doesn't happen anymore. Gave him my number. My mum picks up the phone. My mum and dad both Italian from Napoli. Elio, what? He said Ronnie Corbett. What? Right? I'm 20 years old, right? 20 years old. It's Ronnie Corbett. Hello, it's Ronnie Corbett. Hello. Oh, hello. Hi. You know, it's like a legend has just called our little bungalow down in Eastleigh, right? And he basically said, me and my wife were watching you on Opportunity Knocks on Saturday night, blown away. I'm doing a week in Edinburgh at the King's Theatre. Would you like to come to do the tour with me? And I was like, oh, you know. Anyway, so that was a week in Edinburgh. The following year, he did a UK tour, and I was asked to promote, to open his show for him. And I remember, you know, having a great time, but I will never, ever forget the day we rolled up at St. David's Hall in Cardiff. It was like I had entered the International Space Station, right? I had never been inside or part of such a huge, modern, massive theatre. I remember turning up, going to the stage door. Remember, I'm 21, right?
Yeah.
I walk in and they give me my key to my room. They say, just down there on the left, the lift up to your dressing room. The what? The lift up to my dressing room. The lift up to my dressing room. All right, I'll get in the lift to go up this huge, massive, gorgeous building. And I'll go in, and I walked along a corridor, and I remember opening the door. It was like, you know, you get those memes, those sort of memes on social media now, where people try to sell you amazing hotels with beautiful big windows and vistas of the mountains. Well, there were no mountains, but it was Cardiff city centre. But I remember walking into that dressing room, which was like a hotel room with the most massive windows. The whole wall was just a window out to the city with a bed and an upright piano in the corner of the room.
Oh,
I remember, Andy, going, this I have never experienced in my life. This is a moment I will never, ever forget. I went over to the piano. I started playing the piano. About 10 seconds later, I hear a knock on the door, and it's Ronnie. Puts his head round the door, and he's like something, it's a nice room, isn't it? You know. So to me, St. David's Hall always signified a massive change and a massive step up in what I'd ever experienced as a performer. And we've done
Yeah.
the King's Theatre, and we've done, you know, all the other theatres in Britain, which are wonderful. But there was something so special about that. Here's your key to the lift. Here's the lift. Take a lift to your dressing room. There's the whole of Cardiff. There's a piano. There's a bed if you need it. A shower. And it was modern. It was like a hotel room. I wanted to live there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I got the call to say we've booked St. David's Hall, for me, and I played there since. I did shows as part of a West End sort of touring musical, jukebox musical, not West End, a touring musical show. I also played piano for Shakin' Stevens for 2 years and played in Cardiff with Shakin' Stevens. So I've done, but in my own right, you know, my own show that I created with Matt Daniel Baker, you know, no, it was such a moment for me. Oh my God, I'm going to go. I don't care. I want to try and find that same dressing room and have that room for my show. And then, of course, how disappointed was I, Andy, when, you know, really disappointed, because for me, that was a real checkbox ticked that, you know, that I wanted just to fulfill that moment again in my own right, you know. Don't get me wrong. So we cancel that, and I'm like, you know, brokenhearted.
Yeah.
And then after a few weeks of waiting and waiting, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Is it going to be cancelled, just full stop? Can we not do Cardiff at all? Because it's not just me. What about all the other hundreds of people that had their shows cancelled? And Cardiff, St. David's Hall are doing the best they can to accommodate, and everybody clubbing together. All the theatres are in and around South Wales. And then they said to me, we've managed to change it to the Wales Millennium Centre. Oh, wow. Yeah. Now there's a place that hadn't even occurred to me that I might play with my songbook show, you know, when I started 10 years ago. What an incredibly beautiful venue that is as well.
Yeah.
I'm honoured. I feel like the luckiest bloke on earth, Andy. I mean, to get a second bite at bits and pieces, they're all through my career. But again, that was a bit of luck. It's just pure luck, and I'm happy to ride the luck whilst it lasts. So I can't wait to play at the Wales Millennium Centre.